The jury that it's gobbledygook rather than as reliable as the prosecution says.
The prosecution wants the hearing first.
Juries don't make legal conclusions in the state of California. And because they don't make legal conclusions, to follow through with the defendant's suggested procedure in this case would literally stand Kelly Fry on its head.
Judge Lancito said he'll try to have a decision on Monday on when and how to conduct the DNA evidence hearing, as well as what to do about the overheard conversation between Rosie Greer and O.J. Simpson. The trial is now in recess for the holidays. Don Knapp, CNN, Los Angeles.
Back in our country, a two-day-old demonstration at a Revenue Canada building in downtown Toronto is continuing. A group of about 24 natives have been occupying the building to protest changes to tax laws that will make natives pay tax on income earned off reserve. A native spokesman says the protesters will leave the building sometime today.
In the Philippines, scientists are closely monitoring a volcano for signs of eruption. As Maria Ressa explains tonight, a November earthquake may have set subterranean forces in motion.
Every year, up to 7,000 earthquakes rock the Philippine Islands, which lie on 8 active fault lines. Most are low intensity, but a high-intensity quake which hit Mindoro in mid-November may signal more dangers to come.
We're talking about possibilities, okay? Because of the experience we had after the July 16, 1990 earthquake, Pinatubo volcano was shaken. And the year after that, 1991, we had the eruption of Pinatubo volcano.
The 1990 earthquake killed nearly 2,000 people. A year later, Mount Pinatubo, dormant for hundreds of years, erupted, the largest this century in the amount of volcanic debris it spewed into the air. Chief volcanologist Punong Bayan sent out an early warning which helped limit Pinatubo's casualties. Now he cautiously says the cycle may repeat itself, and the volcano he is closely monitoring is Taal, about 45 minutes away from Manila. Days after the Mindoro quake, his team monitored high-frequency quakes in Taal volcano.
We're convinced that the system, volcanic system, was shaken, and that created fissures or channelways so that magma could rise. But it's essential that for an active volcano to erupt, there must be unavailable magma inside it, okay? And we know that there were 2 intrusions of lava underneath Taal volcano.
Taal volcano is about 50 miles from Mindoro Island, parts of which sank a few centimeters below sea level after the November quake. But it isn't just the Philippines which shows movement of rock layers under the earth.
In the past few months, Japan, Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia have all been hit by earthquakes or volcanic activity. All this, says Punong Bayan, showing a heightened activity of the Pacific Plate, which may point to more to come. Maria Ressa, CNN, Manila.
Well, still ahead tonight, let's look ahead to the last week before Christmas. Will we have a white one?
And as temperatures drop, do retail sales go up? We found one place where that answer is yes. All the details when the ATV Evening News Weekend returns.
Lillehammer 94, Canada's Olympic stories, keeps the memories alive and a great gift for this holiday season. Look for the 160 pages of rich photos and colorful stories in major bookstores, or order by phone for only $36.86. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-565-4484. That's 1-800-565-4484.
Meet Jeremy, always messing around, boy of 1,000 faces. But no matter what he gets into, we know he'll wash up over and over and over and still look great. Imagine if you could keep his clothes looking great wash after wash. You can with Ultratide's Advanced Cotton Care. After tons of washings with my other detergent, his cotton clothes looked old. But Ultratide helps clean the fuzz off cotton clothes so they stay young looking. As young as Jeremy.
Ultratide, for kids' clothes that look as young as they do.
Serving Eastern Canada since 1977 for all your computer needs.
Experience the world of ICS.
Hey, come on, let's go downtown. Downtown Moncton, where the sights and sounds of Christmas are alive. The Angry Irishman Pub, Main Street, wish everyone all the best for the holiday season and invite you to drop in for a tasty bite to eat or just a fun evening out with friends. J.C. Brothers, Albert Street, has a wide variety of meats and deli products, including party trays for all occasions. Drop by or call in your order today.
Hey, come on, let's go down.
Downtown Moncton.
That is gorgeous. Well, the winter arrives officially in 4 days, but this was certainly a winter scene this afternoon on Miller Lake near the Halifax International Airport. Ice boating is growing in popularity, and these folks are taking full advantage of the great weather and a new sheet of very nice-looking ice on that lake. Take note, though, most lakes in our region are not yet safe to walk or skate on, so please check your local recreation departments for ice thickness before heading out on them, please.
We don't even know if that lake was safe to skate on.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to take a chance.
I wouldn't. I'd wait until you see signs that say good ice. Will we have the cold weather to bring us thick enough ice on our lakes in this region? Only one man knows, Phil McLaughlin. He's standing by with all the details. Phil?
Yes, Jonathan, more cold weather is coming in. It is thin out there. Remember, you need at least 15 centimeters, let's say almost the length of your skate blade, before it is safe. So don't go out in the ice just yet. Look good in the picture, but that's just on the picture. So on the picture of the big full disc of the satellite imagery, we have the system to the south of Newfoundland that plagued much of Cape Breton with cloud today, and coming out of the Montreal area, southern Quebec, another system coming in from the west that plagued the western parts of the Maritimes, even a bit of light snow across the Fredericton Oromocto area today, and in the middle, a slice of ice and a little bit of sunshine here and there across the Maritimes, but cloud did rule. But the big thing again today was the temperatures did moderate, finally getting up after the Arctic blast of last week. So here's the jet stream, the polar jet digging a trough of cold air over the Great Lakes. That'll be coming in, as I say, for next week. And down to the south, a subtropical jet coming up, and that's dragging a lot of moisture up the eastern seaboard. And the computer model is showing a low pressure system forming off Cape Hatteras, and that's going to plague our weather for the day Monday. So today's weather map, we have this low here in the Ottawa area, giving a bit of rain and drizzle across that region. And off to the west, we have this weak ridge of high pressure that did give us a bit of sunshine, but not too much. And more off to the west, here's our second Alberta clipper of the week, clipping along, and that'll come out to the eastern seaboard, and down off Cape Hatteras, as I say, another system will be forming and coming up and to influence our weather for the day Monday, bringing us a Monday mess, I guess is the best way to call it. So here's a satellite image, putting it into loop. Here's what we had yesterday, lots of sunny skies across the Maritimes. Look out here to the south of Newfoundland, see the system pushing into the north more, and in behind me, this corridor cloud coming out of southern Quebec, the Great Lakes, pushed into the area, into the western Maritimes, and just kept the cloud cover for the most part across the western half of the three provinces today. And as I say, a few flurries here and there. But on the bonus side, again, the temperatures did moderate nonetheless. So forecast-wise, overnight tonight, we'll have this little bit of partial clearing in the center part of the Maritimes, and almost full moon overhead. Chance of a lingering flurry over the highlands of Cape Breton. And off to the west with this band of cloud pushing across more and more, a few scattered flurries, particularly across New Brunswick. And you can see the overnight lows, not too bad really, close to seasonal values across the area. And for Sunday, a bit of sun around, but don't expect a lot of sunshine. I think the emphasis again tomorrow will be on the cloud cover throughout the region, although we can expect partly sunny skies from time to time. A few flurries across northern New Brunswick where it's going to be a little colder, and above the southern part of the Maritimes, getting 1 or 2 or 3 degrees above the melting point, and more off to the southwest in the Gulf of Maine. Late Sunday after dark, probably towards midnight, some snow moving up, changing over to rain, and that will be Monday's weather spreading across the area, and brisk southeast winds coming along with it as well, and mild temperatures for the southern part of the Maritimes. Now my long ranger for Monday with that system upon us. We'll have some snow to start with, changing over to rain in the southern Maritimes, the northern parts of the Maritimes, ordinary snow, highs on average +2, and windy out of the southeast for the day Monday. Tuesday and behind the system, windy from the northwest, a few leftover flurries, and cooling off high at -2. When I'm back later, we'll review the weather. Jonathan?
Thanks, Phil. We'll check in with you later. Now, shopping till you just about drop. The last full weekend before Christmas, and malls through the regions were packed with shoppers today. Many retailers expect the next 5 days could be the busiest of the year.
Yes, you have to be definitely brave to head out to a shopping mall today. Well, still on the subject of shopping now, way out west and in the north in Alaska, for some businesses, sales go up not just as Christmas time, but when the temperatures go down. As Brian O'Donoghue shows us tonight, sub-zero temperatures means it's time to cash in.
High noon and 38 below in Fairbanks, Alaska. Most of us don't look forward to days like this. Days when the ice fog all but swallows the sun. Days when starting your car can turn into an all-day ordeal. But there is a rare breed of Arctic businessmen, specially adapted to life in this climate. Retailers stocking their shelves with bunny boots, gloves, and other cold weather gear. They shed no tears when the Fairbanks temperature plunges.
When the real cold hit, it's a zoo in here. Everybody wants it right now, and of course we have it. That's our business.
Bursting pipes at home lead to booming business at local plumbing supply houses.
Okay.
It takes more than weather to shut down Alaska's second biggest city. But keeping the family car rolling takes on new importance when the ice fog settles in. More than 4 decades of supplying Fairbanks auto needs has taught the countermen at M&O to stock up with extra belts, hoses, and heaters for days like these.
A day like today is good for anybody involved in the automotive field. There's so many people that their cars don't start. They burn up their starters, their alternator quits, they break hydraulic hoses, power steering hoses, brake hoses, so it makes it very busy.
Local residents know the value of locally manufactured batteries.
We love it when it gets cold. It just brings us in a lot of business, and it's really good for us.
Fairbanksians hate to let weather slow them down, but even those who benefit say it may not always pay to buck nature.
Maybe they should just park it until it warms up sometimes, because they'll spend hundreds of dollars to just get it going again.
Technology constantly provides new weapons for the Cold War, but there will always be some hardy Alaska residents who take the cold in stride without fuss or fancy gear. In Fairbanks, this is Brian O'Donoghue.
Minus 38.
You know, I remember the first winter I ever spent in Saskatchewan, and I remember going out one day and driving my car, and I don't know if it's happened to you. You ever had your tires frozen flat? And then
No, I live in the Maritimes. You don't get that when you live in the Maritimes.
I only got down to minus 50, I think, one year I was there.
That's why the Maritimes rules. Well, still ahead tonight, Ricky has the latest from the world of sports.
Including highlights from a rare Saturday NFL game. Details straight ahead.
Lillehammer 94, Canada's Olympic stories, keeps the memories alive. Look for the 160 pages of rich photos and colorful stories in major bookstores, or order by phone for only $36.86. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-565-4484. That's 1-800-565-4484.
When it comes time to pay Santa, you'll be glad you shopped with the lowest prices are guaranteed. Consumers Distributing. If you ever find a lower advertised price, we'll beat it by 5%.
This week, save $15 on the Moulinex Cool Wall Deep Fryer with electronic digital timer and unique grease and odor filters. Here's a great gift idea, a Mickey or Minnie Mouse clock, or a Mickey or Minnie Mouse watch with quartz movements.
Lowest Christmas prices and the 5% promise. We've got it.
Hey, come on, let's go downtown.
Downtown Moncton, where the sights and sounds of Christmas are alive. The Angry Irishman Pub, Main Street, wish everyone all the best for the holiday season and invite you to drop in for a tasty bite to eat or just a fun evening out with friends. J.C. Brothers, Albert Street, has a wide variety of meats and deli products, including party trays for all occasions. Drop by or call in your order today.
Hey, come on, let's go downtown.
Downtown Moncton.
If consumer electronics are on your Christmas list this year, you'll get more quality brand names for your dollar at Wacky Wheatley's. This Hitachi Easy Cam camcorder may be the world's easiest to use. Its fully automatic features means you'll have great videos on Christmas morning, just $899, or choose the model with color viewfinder and free case for only $1088. Get the most quality for your dollar this Christmas at Wacky Wheatley's, Atlantic Canada's choice for electronics for over 18 years.
I used to watch Toe Blake and Richard and you fellas.
years ago.
Well, 6 teams.
Yeah.
120 players.
Yeah. I think this strike will ever end.
No, I don't know. They're going to have to decide soon, eh?
That's right. Legendary hockey star Jean Beliveau continued his tour of this region today. He's signing copies of his new book about his life. Today, Beliveau talked with scores of his fans, both young and old alike, during a stop at a Halifax bookstore.
Yeah, did you see the lineup out there? You know, a lot of Hab fans all throughout the region. I'm not one of them.
My mom and dad are, though, and they're out there.
They were down there looking for Jean. He's still a class act. Great guy. Turned down a job as the Governor General because he wanted to spend more time with his grandkids.
Oh, you gotta like him for that.
Now with more on the hockey front, here's Ricky Anderson with the latest from the world of sports. Ricky?
Thanks, guys, and good evening, everyone. A crack appears to have developed in the solidarity of the NHL players. New Jersey Devils forward Stephen Richer says players are tired of losing money, and if a secret vote were held today, he feels a majority would accept the owner's latest offer. Meanwhile, low-level talks resumed today at a secret location between the NHL and its Players Association. Both sides have been meeting to try to create some positive movement before Commissioner Gary Bettman and Union Chief Bob Goodenow are brought back to the table. Still with strikes, with the baseball talk set to resume on Monday, Union Chief Donald Fehr is warning players not to expect any quick settlements. Fehr says the owner's decision not to impose a salary cap earlier this week is a positive sign, but he adds it won't be easy to reach an agreement. Fehr sent a letter to the players advising them not to sign contracts if the owners impose their salary cap. On to the NFL now. Barry Sanders and Mel Gray combined to spoil Minnesota's planned celebration today. Sanders had touchdown runs of 18 and 64 yards. Gray returned a kickoff 98 yards for a touchdown. And the Detroit Lions tied Minnesota for first place in the NFC Central by beating the Vikings 41-19. Both teams now have 9-6 records with 1 game remaining. And in San Francisco, the 49ers are trying to wrap up home field for the NFC playoffs with a victory today against the Denver Broncos. The 49ers will be looking for their 10th straight win this afternoon. The Broncos need a win to avoid elimination from the AFC playoff picture. And at half, it's San Francisco 28, the Broncos 6. To the CFL now. The CFL Baltimore entry will remain the team with no name. After months of legal squabbling with the NFL, team owner Jim Sparrow says the club will stay without a nickname. The team's official name will be the Baltimore Football Club. Ernie Els continues to dominate the Johnny Walker World Golf Championships in Montego Bay, Jamaica. The U.S. Open champion from South Africa made some mistakes today, but nobody could take advantage of them during the 3rd round of action. The PGA Tour Rookie of the Year fired an even par 71 to sit 7 shots ahead of Nick Price. And in Val d'Isère, France today, the 2nd World Cup downhill of the season has produced its 2nd Canadian injury. Ralph Soker of Fernie, BC, who was the top Canadian in yesterday's race, twisted his knee during today's run. And Rob Boyd of Whistler, BC, who had a history of bad crashes like this one in the 1992 season, likely tore a knee ligament when he crashed during yesterday's race. This is the same knee Boyd injured last season, which forced him to miss the Lillehammer Olympics. Austria's Joseph Strabo won the race. And in Quebec Major Junior action last night at the Halifax Metro Center, the Halifax Moosids played tough, but it was the Granby Bisons who prevailed. Eric Bertrand slipped a rebound past the Moosid goaltender at 4:19 of overtime to lead the Bisons to a 4-3 win over the Moosids. And guys, that's sports.
Thanks very much, Ricky. Well, still ahead tonight, making this Christmas a green one.
Yeah, some tips to help you do your bit. We have details. We come back.
Would you trust this moment to anything but Kodak? Now, when you buy specially marked 2 packs of Kodak Gold film, you'll get 2 free batteries. A gift from Kodak for you.
In New Brunswick, When news breaks, the ATV News team is there with complete reports you know you can rely on. There's news you can use on Live at 5 and world events with a maritime outlook on the ATV Evening News with Steve Murphy.
The low Canadian dollar may be keeping snowbirds home, but it's got Americans flocking into New Brunswick's border towns. It's a cross-border bonanza, Monday at 6.
Monday at 5 and 6 on ATV.
There's a lot of computers on the market today, but no greater value than Packard Bell. Packard Bell computers all come equipped with the Packard Bell Navigator, a program that makes using a computer easier than ever, and more than $500 worth of preloaded Microsoft software. And now until Christmas, you can finance any Packard Bell computer interest-free until next year. Like this 486 system with Intel processor and color monitor, just $1588. For your Christmas computer this year, it's Packard Bell at Wacky Wheatley's.
When Ted Tower opened his first store in 1920, he gift-wrapped every purchase free of charge. We still do today. Tower Luggage and Leather can lighten the load on your next trip with Samsonite roll-on bags. Pull up the handle and you're ready to go. The popular Caribbean Classic Soft Piggyback Weekender, only $119.99. The Oyster GLS Soft Piggyback Weekender, a low $109.99. Top-of-the-line Silhouette V Medium Piggyback, $337.50. Available at these Tower Luggage and Leather and Tower Jewelers locations.
Members of the Firefighters Association of Westfall Coal Harbor are hard at work today selling Christmas trees, trying to raise money for a new rescue vehicle which costs $164,000. Boy Scout Matthew Matheson came out, give him a hand. He's putting in a few community service hours working towards his citizenship badge. Boy, it brings me back when I was a Cub Scout.
Way long time ago.
Back in another century, just about. Well, speaking of trees and green stuff.
Well, some people dream of a white Christmas. Conservationists are hoping for a greener one. Bruce Burkhardt has that story.
'Tis the season to be green. It's a message some environmentalists say holiday shoppers should heed.
You've heard the old slogan, every day is Earth Day. Well, I mean, if we really take that to heart and believe that, then the Christmas time and the holiday time really should be no different than our practices any other time of the year.
One way to start is by purchasing holiday gifts made from recycled materials. This tote bag is made from used hubcaps. These old table legs are turned into candlestick holders, and notebook covers are made from used floppy disks.
The new fashion for 1995, I imagine, is a can that they've reused and put a license plate around it.
Some holiday shoppers are already seeking out green gifts.
I think I'm going to get 2 of these pillows.
This man is shopping for gifts that are chemical-free.
My wife is allergic to a lot of different products on the market, so I was looking at the pillows just now. We need some new pillows.
Some shoppers say buying green is not only good for nature, but it feels good, too.
Well, I think it combines the joy of giving with doing something for the environment, and it's a gift with a message.
A message that could turn a white Christmas green. Bruce Burkhardt, CNN, reporting.
Well, the season can also bring back some somber memories. Hundreds of American veterans and their families have gathered to mark the 50th anniversary of World War II's Battle of the Bulge.
Jeff Flock has the story.
Up ahead in this frozen landscape lies Bastogne. And
memories. I think of the snow and the cold, the frigid wind, the foxholes and the Germans attacking our position. Memories of the bloodiest battle of World War II.
To this day, I could hear the click. It booby-trapped. It was booby-trapped. And it was a big tiller mine, and I was wounded, and 2 of my men were killed.
It was the Battle of the Bulge.
I think of all my friends who never got a chance to come home, go to college, have children and grandchildren, never had the thrill of growing up in America.
50 years later, they gather to remember. A memorial for the thousands killed battling the last serious German offensive of the war. A plaque dedicated to those who fought and died. But what of the living?
Here's a young Art Lipsky. How young in this photo?
At that time, I was 24 years old and still alive.
Art Lipsky had to lie to survive captivity.
You are Jewish.
I am Jewish,
And not a popular man, clearly, among the German soldiers, had they known.
That's when I told them I was Catholic to survive.
His scars, both emotional and physical.
After I was shot, I was captured, and in the prison they were going to cut the leg off by mistake. Would you believe it?
They come together, each bearing a reminder of a battle that changed each of their lives.
Tell me about these.
Those are paratrooper boots.
Yours?
My paratrooper boots.
Worn on the streets of Bastogne 50 years ago.
Worn on the streets of Bastogne.
The 101st Airborne's Jim Harrington still has his boots. The 26th Infantry's Dick Cotter has a sword surrendered by a German soldier.
He faced me and clicked his heels together and kind of bowed and reached over and took the sword off and he handed it to me.
The 78th Infantry's Pat Murphy has a German pistol.
This P-38 shoots the same kind of bullets, and I took it off of a prisoner during the Battle of the Bulge.
The Battle of the Bulge.
These men held the hinge of the line at Bastogne.
The men who fought then and now.
We lost a lot of friends, a lot of good men, one of the best men.
I'm Jeff Block, CNN in St. Louis.
Well, still ahead tonight, Phil has one last fast look at the weather for you, and then no problem eating lobster here.
Yeah, but did you know in some parts of the states, like California, people are getting all up in arms over eating the big one? We have the story right after this break.
Lillehammer 94, Canada's Olympic Stories. Look for the 160 pages of colorful photos and stories in major bookstores, or order by phone for only $36.86. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-565-4484.
During the holidays, you could really work up an appetite. Luckily, there's Wendy's Big Bacon Classic Combo. Our delicious Big Bacon Classic plus Biggie fries and a medium soft drink. It's some meal.
Here goes. I love the holidays.
So what is a pellet stove?
An amazing new heat source that is quite simply the best way to heat with wood.
Well, who makes the best brand?
Dr. Jerry Whitfield, the inventor and largest manufacturer. His forced air system burns pellets at an even, controllable heat.
What about the pellets?
Pellets are made from waste sawdust. No new trees are cut. They're easy to find, easy to use.
Available at Maritime Fireplaces, Moncton, Squires Energy System, St. John, and Superior Heating Limited, Sussex.
What if he's hungry? He won't be hungry. Every other kid in the world's gonna feed him. Okay.
May your season be magical. Make it a blockbuster holiday.
Frank's Furs and Boutique Monique, your complete fashion connection at Plaza Mode Bathurst. Furs and so much more. Frank's Furs brings you supple leather, unique Norma designs, and Linda Lundstrom, as well as the practical cloth coat. Every fashion need is addressed at Boutique Monique. From the sportiest looks to the dressiest, it's clothing that's versatile and artfully designed. Gift selection is made simple at Dans un Jardin Perfumery, and packaging is free. All at Plaza Mode in Bathurst.
You saw the reindeer? Well, I left two reindeer home tonight.
Why? Okay, are you...
Because they were pretty tired.
And so is everybody else. Well, it was quite a morning at the Halifax YMCA as scores of children had breakfast with old St. Nick himself. The old fellow had quite a pack of goodies with him, too, I hear. It was all in support of preventative medicine at the Y. Well, in a popular Southern California restaurant, a giant lobster has become a magnet, both for customers and protesters who want to see the lobster set free.
Yeah, Linda Joyce tells us tonight about Spike the lobster, part mascot and part symbol.
He may not be the biggest ever caught, but if you consider that at 18 pounds, this Maine lobster could feed a family of 6, then you're starting to get the picture of just how large Spike is. At 3 feet long, with claws twice the size of a man's hand, the experts estimate he's probably quite old, too, possibly in his 90s. But the fact that Spike is on display has prompted animal rights activists to protest his living conditions. Free him, they say, and return him to the ocean waters off of Maine, where he came from.
Spike is going to be living by himself in isolation for the rest of his life. It could be very long, could be very short. They can travel up to 100 miles in a year. Spike will never be able to travel more than a couple of inches.
Entertainer Mary Tyler Moore has offered the restaurant $1,000 to return Spike. Talk Radio's Rush Limbaugh upped the ante to $2,000. He didn't want to relocate Spike, though. He wanted to eat him. So did this Italian art dealer we ran into at the restaurant.
$3,000, yes. Se me la portano adesso, io pago $3,000 e me la mando.
He'll pay $3,000 for him right now, if they'd bring it to him.
Gladstone said no on all counts. Spike has become the restaurant's mascot and the biggest draw in years.
We're getting a lot of calls right now. Is Spike there? Can I see him right now if I come right now? If we come in for dinner, if we're here this weekend, is he available? And the answer is yes, you can see Spike at all times.
Gladstone says it sells more lobsters than any restaurant on the West Coast. Restaurant officials say if activists were really concerned, they'd want to save all of them. The activists say they would like to, but first, they must free Spike.
The People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals say they will continue to hope and pray that someday Spike will be returned to his home in the ocean. Even so, one demonstrator tells me he has his own private protest planned. Every time he drives by this restaurant, he honks his horn and rolls down his window and yells, "Free Spike."
For now, Spike will remain where he is, wowing the customers.
I've never seen him that big, so it's kind of interesting.
Looks delicious.
Restaurant officials say no need to worry that Spike will end up on someone's plate. They say Spike is too tough to serve and serves Gladstones just fine right where he is. Linda Joyce, CNN, Malibu, California.
You know, it just goes to show you, with no leaves to rake up, no snow to shovel, those Californians simply have too much time on their hands to think up these crazy things. Now, with one last fast look at the weather, here's Phil.
Well, tomorrow, the final Sunday of the autumn season, we'll wake up. Maybe we'll sleep in tomorrow. It's Sunday. We'll have partly sunny skies, a few odd snow flurries, not really odd, but a few scattered snow flurries here and there. Morning lows -12 across the northern Maritimes, -6 along the coast of the Nova Scotia area. And for Sunday, partly sunny skies here and there, but again, the emphasis on the cloud cover, a few snow flurries around. Look at the temperatures. Less cold than today even, so getting up there quite nicely. And all this in advance of a weather system that will be coming up the eastern seaboard. And by late tomorrow night, sunny night, wet snow, rain coming into the Gulf of Maine area, and that'll push across the area for the day Monday and give us a messy day Monday. Now, with sunshine across the month of December, where do you think in Canada, what province, what major city enjoys the most sunshine for the month of December? If that graphic ever comes up, there we go. So the sunniest December, province, major city, what do you think? Don't jump to conclusions here. Don't go too far west. This is a surprise to me as well. Here we go. The drums are rolling. The province. Is it going to come up? There we go. New Brunswick and St. John. Yes, Environment Canada figures tell me that. Tomorrow night, Weather Fact, the winter solstice. What's it all about? Well, we'll have it here in the Weather Fact. Back to you guys.
So you just know, people will be hitting the beaches tomorrow, getting their sun.
New Brunswick, I told you the Maritimes roll. Let's take a look at ATV's primetime lineup for you tonight, right after our show. At 7 o'clock, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. 8 p.m., it's Kung Fu. Then moving on to 9 o'clock, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. 10 o'clock tonight, Lonesome Dove. And then 11 o'clock, it's Law and Order.
And I'll be back at 12:30. Then tomorrow, this is a rough time of year for anyone who's unemployed or on strike. Right here on the ATV Evening News Weekend, striking employees at the Irving Oil Refinery make the best of it and have a Christmas that's a little brighter for their families. That's tomorrow right here at 6 o'clock on the ATV Evening News. And that's our show for now. I feel like heading to a lobster pound and freeing all those locked-up crustaceans, but I won't.
But he's going for his supper right now, folks.
That's all the time we have. I'll be back at 12:30 tonight with local news, weather, and sports. Hope you can join me then.
And we'll be back with all the gang tomorrow night at 6. Thank you very much for watching us tonight. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see everybody at Kev's. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Christmas with the Chieftains. Christmas Day